Well guys, it's Monday, I've finished my exams and I've come back out and I've got my first coin of the day. It's very light, so I wonder if it's a contemporary copy. It's about the size of a shilling, so I wonder if it might be a contemporary copy shilling. Very thin, no milling though, so I need to check that out, but it was at a good depth. You can just see the outline of where it was pressed against the earth for a couple of hundred years, and that's a good 7 inches down. So that was quite impressive for the machine to pick that up. It was originally coming up as iron with a coin bell tone to it, but I dug it, increased the sensitivity and dug it, and it turned out to be a coin for me. Doesn't matter if it's forgery, because it still has the age to it. So I'll wash it up and I'll get back to you with what it is. Well guys, this is a cool looking thing. It actually says on it, it's a token I believe, or a commemorative medallion, which says peace between Great Britain and France, signed October 1st, 1801. And on the reverse, with a diaxis of 180 degrees, it has peace and then some other lettering that I can't read at the moment, and 2 ships, or what appear to be 2 ships. So that's the armistice between Britain and France in 1801, but it obviously didn't last because then we had the battles with Napoleon. So that's a very interesting historical piece. I've never seen anything like it before, but I'll add it to the collection. Here you are guys, this is a more accurate depiction of what this medal is. It's the preliminary piece of Amiens token. That's what it should say. This is actually a gilt version I found online. This probably wasn't gilt, but it's just easier to read. And you can see it says preliminaries of peace between Great Britain and France, signed October 1st, 1801. Actually, the interesting thing is it was signed on September 30th, not October 1st, so obviously this was released the day after it was signed. But the interesting thing about this is it's more than likely someone wasn't carrying this around for too long afterwards, especially considering we went back to war with France. So it's almost possible to date this being dropped as well, which is important, and I would have thought that it wouldn't have been carried around for too long afterwards, and therefore I would tentatively say that it was probably dropped around November 1801. And on the reverse you can see peace, commerce and plenty with the dove of peace above, and a beer barrel with to France and the grain and the barley and the wheat. But it's a very interesting medalette token. Apparently they're quite common, this one, but there's quite a few different varieties of obverse and reverse, which I'm not going to go into, but it's a very interesting token and I'm very happy to have found it. Well guys, the sun has come back out and it's getting hotter again, but I've just found myself another old coin, just in the side all that. Let's bring it into the light for the first time in a couple of 100 years. It's interesting when you put it like that. It looks like it's going to be another early milled halfpenny, but it's quite thin, so I'm wondering if there'll be any detail left on it, but I'll wash it up and I'll get back to you. Well guys, this one's a nice surprise. It's actually a George II. I was expecting another forged George III, but this is legitimate George II halfpenny dated 1744. Nice surprise. Well guys, back again, and just out of a 5-inch plug we've got an Edward the 7th halfpenny. Haven't seen the date yet. Looks to be a naughted date, so it rules out 1910. Looks to be 1907, but an Edward the 7th halfpenny dated 1907. Nice coin. Well guys, I have a signal, and just there you can see what appears to be the edge of a coin. Looks like it, if anything, it will be a copper farthing or a button. It's a coin. I am going to guess at this being a copper farthing, pre-1770s, pre-1775 that is, but could be slightly later. Could just be a very worn Victorian or George IV or William IV. copper farthing, but I'll wash it up and I'll get back to you with a definitive date. Well guys, this coin appears to be a George III copper farthing, a new coin for me. But the interesting thing about this is it's hard to tell the difference between the 1799 and the 1806, 1807 variants. But if it is the 1799 variant, it's the first coin in British history to have a written, worded value on it, i.e. farthing. We've had Roman numeral values before, but this could be the first coin in British history to have a written, worded value on it. Or it could just be an 1806, but it's a new coin all the same for me, and I'm very happy with it. Well guys, I'm still pottering away, and I've just scored another penny of George V. Looks to be in lovely condition. Beautiful patina, but I'll wash it up. I'll get you an accurate date. Well guys, it turned out to be a beautiful condition, 1921.